It's big, bold, and it's bloody expensive, but is this Mercedes-Benz V6 powered X-Class really worth more than 80 grand? Really? Well, that's what we're here to find out. If you're after even more details on this vehicle, read my full review at carsguide.com.au. And if you're watching this video on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe while you're at it to stay up to date with all of our news and reviews. This is the 350D Power. It's the top spec variant in a 2-variant V6 X-Class range. It has a 3-litre 6-cylinder turbo diesel engine, a 7-speed automatic transmission and permanent all-wheel drive. Now all of those things come from Mercedes-Benz, and all of those things make a refreshing change from the Navara-based 4-cylinder X-Class that preceded this model. From the outside, the X-Class looks pretty impressive. It's chunky and blocky and has a real tough truck presence. It certainly looks the part. The roof rails and side steps add to the X-Class's sporty appearance, but those are part of the optional style pack. They are not standard. The silver styling bar and the tray liner also look cool, but they're also optional extras. So the outside looks alright, but inside, it's a bit of a different story. Now, I'm no snob about an interior at all, but if I spend almost 90 grand on a ute, I'd expect a very high level of fit and finish, plenty of storage options inside, and just an overall premium feel. But sadly, that is missing from this cabin. From the many hard plasticky surfaces, the fake leather, the brushed aluminium sections, and those half-hearted attempts at three-pointed star styling, such as these vents, none of it looks or feels anything like the premium quality you'd expect to find in a Mercedes-Benz. As for gear, well, you do get this 7-inch floating touchscreen and a few other bits and pieces, but there are a lot of glaring omissions. You don't get a reach-adjustable steering wheel, heated seats, all real leather, you don't get much in the way of storage anywhere, and you don't get Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. You don't even get a grab handle on the driver's side door. All of this stuff you get in utes that cost much less than the X-Class. As for room and comfort inside, well, it's adequate, but it's not unreal for something so pricey. The driving position is nice and high, but the seats all round could do with a bit more cushioning in the base. In the grand tradition of all utes, the rear seat is really the realm of young children, and at a stretch, smaller adults. Storage is minimal in the back. You don't even get a drop-down armrest with a cup holder. So the interior is a bit of a letdown, but how is this X-Class to drive? Well, this is where the news gets a bit better. The V6 is the right fit for the X-Class, much better than the 4-cylinder. It's a punchy unit. It moves the more than 2-ton ute along nicely around town and along open roads, and it works well with the 7-speed automatic. It has 5 driving modes: off-road, sport, manual, comfort and eco, with all aimed at adjusting throttle input, gear changes and vehicle dynamics to suit the terrain. Sure, every now and again there's a delay between foot down and go time, but you easily get past that. You switch it into sport and you use these nifty paddle shifters and away we go. The X-Class sits nicely on road and ride and handling are generally okay. Only every now and again does it exhibit those telltale skips and jitters of an unladen ute. The coil spring suspension tends to yield a spongy, comfortable ride, and that's something you don't really expect from a ute with nothing on board. Steering is pretty sharp, and despite its bulk, the X-Class is reasonably easy to manoeuvre on road and off-road. The X-Class's all-wheel drive system and its off-road tech are an effective combination, and of course it does have low range and those locking centre and rear diffs. But when you're off-roading, every millimetre counts. The X-Class has 222 millimetres of ground clearance and a 600 millimetre wading depth, whereas something like the Ford Ranger Wildtrak has 232 millimetres of ground clearance and a wading depth of 800 millimetres. Some underbody protection is plastic and easily damaged or torn off on rocks, so it pays to avoid rocky climbs and also deep ruts with high centre sections. But to the X-Class's credit, it's handled everything easily enough. It's just never felt as dynamic or as capable as most of its rivals. A big plus in the X-Class's favour is its impressive suite of safety tech, including that 360-degree view camera, active brake assist, active lane keeping assist and more. The X-Class has a 5-star ANCAP rating. Fuel consumption is listed as 8.8 litres per 100 kilometres, and that's on a combined cycle. We recorded 10.9 litres per 100 kilometres on test, and that included plenty of low-speed four-wheel driving. The V6 X-Class has an 80-litre fuel tank. Down the back end, the inside of the tray measures 1,560mm wide and is 475mm high. The V6 X-Class has an adjustable load securing rail system with 4 tie-down points. Now this is fine, but I reckon you need a few tie-down points lower in the tray to make this a really effective system. It has a payload of just over a tonne, a 750 kilogram unbraked towing capacity and a 3,500 kilogram braked towing capacity. A 3-year, 200,000 kilometre warranty applies to this ute. Look, the V6 X-Class is good enough on-road and capable enough off-road, but it's sorely let down by its interior. And all of those things combined certainly don't warrant such a high price tag. Sure, its suite of safety tech is top-notch, but even in V6 guise, the X-Class just feels like a half-hearted attempt rather than a determined shot at ute greatness.